Nilesh, should we start? Nilesh sir, am I audible?
We can just give them 5 more minutes.
Okay, sir.
हाथ से बंद कर दो तो फिर आवाज में
Nilesh sir, we can start with the presentation. Yeah. Nilesh sir, just confirm if I'm audible clearly.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good afternoon to all. I am Rohit Anani, Director Corporate Relations with IIST, IIMR and IIP. We are a group of engineering, management and pharmacy college based in Indore. I welcome you all to this session LinkedIn for Learners organized by IIST Group in association with LinkedIn India. It is my pleasure to be the convener for this event with such eminent panelists. We have with us Shri Arunas Bhatnagar Sir, Director General, IIST Group, Mr. Anup Menon, Regional Director, Higher Education, LinkedIn India, and Ms. Sakshi Salaria, Engagement Lead, Higher Education, LinkedIn India. I welcome you all for taking out your precious time to enlighten students and attendees. I would also extend the welcome to the Principal Sirs from IIST, IIMR, and IIP, respected HODs, team training, and team placement to be part of the attendees. The total event duration is going to be 2 hours. The event roadmap is to have 3 sessions, one by each speaker for 25 minutes each, followed by Q&A at the end of the session. Based on queries, compiled on already received queries in the registration form. If time permits, we will also take up some on-spot queries in the chat box. Let me introduce our first guest and speaker. We have Shri Arunas Bhatnagar Sir, Honorable Director General, IIST Group. He is an IRS, ex-Principal Commissioner, Delhi, and now leading charge at IIST Group, where he conceptualized holistic development as the core value and took the institution to be ranked #1 amongst university colleges within 3 years of leading the institution. A vivid reader, poet, and firm believer of ancient Indian values, his topic of session is holistic development and importance of value-based learning. Welcome, sir. The dais is all yours.
Thank you, dear Rohit, and Anup sir and Sakshi. Welcome to IIST campus.
5,000.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir. You're
Okay. The topic is quite vast and it is very difficult to cover it up in 25 minutes. So we will have another session whenever you like to ask questions for the whole day, because lots of questions may generate and lots of queries will be there. Because this is a transitional era and all our students are, they are struggling and they are preparing for their placement, having lots of worries and fear, anxiety, uncertainty. And natural query how they become a successful leader. All those things are there, my dear friends. It was there in our time. It is even now, it will be in future. And our job is to give you some kind of, not, I will say solution, but whatever we have practiced. Because there will be lots of very good test books on this subject available on internet. तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो मैं नया बोलूंगा. एक शांडिल्य ने कहा है प्रागुतुम च, ये पहले भी कहा जा चुका है. केवल मेरे अपने 46 साल के कैरियर में जो मेरे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स मैंने किए और जो मैंने जिस तरह से अपनी वर्किंग को रखा, उसमें इन कोर वैल्यूज ने या जिन वैल्यूज ने मुझे सक्सेस दिलाई. तो जब मैं एक वर्ड सक्सेस यूज करता हूं तो सबसे पहले ध्यान रखना है कि इट इज नॉट ए इंडिविजुअल सक्सेस. वी शुड नॉट ग्रेडेट ऑफ टेक आवर सक्सेस इंडिविजुअली. इट इज you never know. It is depending upon so many factors that you are succeeding. It may be destiny, it's a teamwork, it's a whole, lots of factors are there for. So you should never feel proud or and that I am successful. There may be thousands of reasons. So first of all, success, whatever word I'm using, it is not, I'm not only responsible for that. There were circumstances, there were people, those who were working with me and working better than me. So I acknowledge all of them, all their contribution in my life. But what I have emphasized every time, that first of all of us should have a cosmic identity, wider identity rather than a limited identity. This is my first concept. Because now everybody is having longing to expand. And in today's world, when there is an internet, you are connecting with the world. So how can you be a myopic view? So, as I always saying, the self-preservation of today is self-imprisonment of future. So you have to come out from your shell, come out of your biased approach, and you have to be very transparent and unbiased approach. You have to enhance your perception and attitude. And our values, ancient text, we are saying, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. When you are acknowledging this fact by our Adi Shankaracharya ji, Ishwar Sarvbhutana, then how can you protect limited identity? The meaning of Brahma itself is to expand. So we should have a cosmic identity rather than a limited identity. We have to enhance our perception. We have to enhance our attitude. The moment we will enhance our perception, things will become different. Because today's reality is subject to today's perception and attitude. If we can change our perception and attitude, our reality may also change. Next, kabhi we iske upar fir deliberate karenge. My second point for my young generation, sometimes, my dear friends, there is no correlation between your reward and your efforts. Rohit may understand that. Even after putting so much efforts, you may not get that kind of reward, that kind of placement, or that kind of success. For that, again, one of our ancient text, Gita, is also very helpful to you, which I am right from the induction course, I am propagating the theory of non-attachment. Because here, Mr. Menon, we have started a series and उसका टॉपिक का नाम हमने रखा है, एक नया इनिशिएटिव हम लोगों ने शुरू किया और ये लोग बात भी करते रहते हैं मुझसे, और उसका जो हमने अभी नया शुरू किया है उसका नाम हमने रखा है, और उसके ऊपर एक पूरी सीरीज हम लोग शुरू कर रहे हैं, नो दाई सेल्फ एंड बी दाई सेल्फ, विलिंग टू चेंज, willing to evolve. केवल नो दाई सेल्फ इज नॉट एनफ. आप अपने को जानते हैं ये काफी नहीं है, आप अपने को बदलने के लिए, इवॉल्व करने के लिए तैयार रहिए. ये भी बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि कभी कभी नो दाई सेल्फ एक फीलिंग ऑफ एरोगेंस भी दे सकता है, क्यों नो आई एम परफेक्ट. उससे बचना है, क्योंकि पहले मैं बोलता था कि एवरी डे इज अ न्यू लाइफ फॉर अ वाइज मैन. अब मैं बोलता हूँ एवरी मोमेंट इज अ न्यू लाइफ फॉर अ वाइज मैन. यू शुड बी रेडी टू इवॉल्व योरसेल्फ. इतना सब कुछ है जानने के लिए, इतना सब कुछ है पाने के लिए, कि आप अपने को आइसोलेट करके नहीं बैठ सकते. और मैं जानता हूं इससे बड़ी और कोई मुसीबत नहीं हो सकती. कबीर साहब ने कहा है, काहे की कुशलात कर दिए कुएं पड़े. आप किस बात की कुशलता है, हाथ में दिया है कुएं में पड़े. तो लगातार we should become a lifelong learner. So this is my second point. Your reward may not be sometimes may not be of your expectation. Then theory of non-attachment given by Lord Krishna is very, very helpful to you, that you have to do your work. That's it. काम करिए, कहीं ना कहीं आपको results मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे. But don't be much bothered about the results. क्योंकि जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि समत्वम योग उच्यते, and yoga karma su kaushal, equanimity of mind which he is propagating. Dukheshnu udvigna manha sukheshu vigata sparaha vitaragaya bhay krodha sthir dhir muniricha. So वो एक एटीट्यूड लेकर के आप काम करेंगे तो एक बहुत मानसिक शांति भी होगी, स्लीपलेस नाइट भी नहीं आएगी, इंसोम्निया भी नहीं आएगा, पीयर्स को देख करके आपको ईर्ष्या भी नहीं. यू हैव टू, आपको, यू कैन कंसंट्रेट मोर ऑन ओनली ऑन योर वर्क. तीसरी चीज जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आजकल के युवा पीढ़ी को समझने के लिए और अपने लीडर्स को समझने के लिए, जो लीडर बनना चाहते हैं डायनेमिक, that you are the creator of your own destiny, your own circumstances and your own situation. Once I asked my master, sir ये hell और heaven का concept हमारे यहाँ स्वर्ग और नरक का है, ये क्या चक्कर है, कोई ग्रह है जिसमें स्वर्ग है नरक है? उन्होंने कहा स्वर्ग तो पता नहीं, नरक है. हमने कहा सर कौन से ग्रह में है? उन्होंने कहा वो जो आप अपने चारों तरफ खुद क्रिएट करते, यू आर क्रिएटिंग योर ओन हेल. तो बात समझ में आने वाली थी कि या वी आर क्रिएटिंग अवर ओन हेल, वी आर क्रिएटिंग अवर ओन सर्कमस्टांसेस. हम दूसरों को दोष नहीं देते. तो गौतम बुद्ध ने कई बार मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को बोला है, अतना ही अतनो नाथो कोई नाथो करो सेवा. आप अपने स्वामी स्वयं हैं, दूसरा आपका स्वामी नहीं हो सकता. तो डोंट गिव एक्सक्यूजेस कि पड़ोसी के यहाँ म्यूजिक चल रहा था तो आप नहीं पढ़े, और ये बहाना वो बहाना, देयर इज नो वे, यू कैन नॉट एस्केप फ्रॉम योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। आपको ओनरशिप लेनी होगी, ओनरशिप लीजिए, जो भी होगा देखा जाए, आप करिए काम। नेक्स्ट कंसेप्ट इसी के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है कि देन जब आपकी ओनरशिप है तो देन यूटिलाइज योर एनर्जी इन अ प्रॉपर डायरेक्शन, क्योंकि एनर्जी को इस बात से कोई मतलब नहीं ये अच्छा है या ये बुरा है, एनर्जी को तो जिधर आप लगाएंगे उधर लग जाए। तो उस एनर्जी का प्रॉपर यूटिलाइजेशन आपको करना। एक बहुत अच्छा मैंने कहीं लेक्चर सुना था, दिमाग में कई सारे कमरे हैं जिसमें बहुत सारे तरह की आपके एट्रीब्यूट्स हैं, आप एनर्जी की टॉर्च जिधर ले जाइएगा वो कमरा जल जाए, उसी कमरे में लाइट हो जाए। तो आपको ये जानना है कि आपको अपनी अवेयरनेस को और अपनी एनर्जी को कहाँ यूटिलाइज करना। अब यहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ा सवाल आता है कि देयर आर सो मेनी ऑप्शंस, हाउ टू पिक अप वन ऑप्शन, दैट्स अ मेजर चैलेंज। If you are having 10 options, you have to pick up one option which should be good. How you should pick up that option? उसके लिए तो आजकल गूगल बाबा भी हैं और बहुत सारे चीजें हैं, आप देखिए और उनसे सलाह लीजिए। देखिए, अगर आपको पिक्चर देखनी है तो आपको रिव्यू मिल जाएंगे, आपको रेस्टोरेंट चाहिए तो आपको रिव्यू मिल जाएंगे, और अगर आपको अपना ऑप्शन चुनना है तो रोहित से बात करिए। आपको डॉक्टर चुनना है तो मेरे पास आने की क्या जरूरत है, किसी अच्छे डॉक्टर से पूछिए क्या करना है। सत्संग, उसको अगर मैं मैनेजमेंट की भाषा में कहूं तो आपको सत्संग करना चाहिए। सत्संग कोई साधु महात्मा का सत्संग नहीं, सत्संग विद द पर्सन हु नोज द थिंग, हु नोज दैट जॉब, हु नोज दैट प्रोफेशन, तो वो आप करिए। बहुत अच्छा तुलसीदास जी ने रामचरितमानस में कहा है, तात सर्ग अपवर्ग सुख धरहि तुला एक अंग, तुलनता ही सकल मिली जो सुख लव सत्संग। सारे स्वर्ग का सुख एक तरफ और एक क्षण का सत्संग एक तरफ। तो वो जो सत्संग है, उस सत्संग का मतलब भी यह है कि आप उसी व्यक्ति से बात करिए जो आपको सही ऑप्शन सजेस्ट कर सके, वो उसकी तलाश आपको करनी होगी। ट्रायल एंड एरर मेथड है, तो वो आपको करना है, एंड यू हैव टू पिक अप द राइट ऑप्शन। और जब आपने वो राइट ऑप्शन पिकअप कर लिया, क्योंकि गॉड हैज गिवन यू टू थिंग्स, पावर ऑफ डिस्क्रिशन एंड विल पावर, वन टू चूज द राइट, अदर टू डू द राइट। तो यू हैव टू पिक अप योर राइट ऑप्शन एंड देन यू हैव टू वर्क फॉर इट। विल पावर भी आपकी स्ट्रांग होनी है, उसको विल पावर स्ट्रांग करने के लिए यू हैव टू डू कंटिन्यूअस एफर्ट्स। छोटे छोटे कामों से विल पावर को एनहेंस करिए, छोटा काम खत्म करिए पहले, फिर उसके बाद आपको एक साहस आएगा कि ओह आई हैव डन इट, फिर आप बड़े काम पर की तरफ लगिए। तो आपको अपने विल पावर को भी बढ़ाना, और उसके बाद जब हम ये कहते हैं कि यू आर द क्रिएटर ऑफ योर डेस्टिनी, तो यू आर द क्रिएटर ऑफ योर थॉट्स। हमारे वेदों में, हमारी सारे संस्कृति में थॉट्स को बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस दी है। ये कहा गया है कि जब ब्रह्म अकेला था तो उसने विचार किया, थॉट किया, एको हम बहुश्यामी, एंड वर्ड वाज, यूनिवर्स वाज क्रिएटेड, इट इज ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ हिज थॉट पावर, एंड दैट सेम थॉट पावर इज अवेलेबल विद अ ह्यूमन बीइंग। तो पहले तो इस इंफीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स से निकालिए, बिकॉज यू आर आल्सो हैविंग द सेम डिवाइन स्पार्क। तो लिमिटेड आइडेंटिटी से भी जुड़ता है और यहाँ से भी जुड़ता है कि अपने को कम मत समझिए। और आज ये हमारी पीढ़ी का दायित्व है कि हम अपने बच्चों को ये कहें कि आप यू आर योर ओन डेस्टिनी मेकर, यू आर हैविंग इनहेरेंट पावर। उनको हमें उनके कॉम्प्लेक्स को, उनको डाउन नहीं करना है, उनको बढ़ाना है। यही एक शिक्षा का उद्देश्य है कि वो उन बच्चों को उनके आंतरिक शक्तियों से, उनके अंतर्निहित शक्तियों से परिचय कराए और उनसे कहे तत्त्वमसि श्वेत केतु, तुम सब कुछ कर सकते हो, डू इट, ट्राई इट। इसके लिए एक और बात आजकल के जमाने में चल रहा है कि आज हम लोग बहुत बीटा वेव्स में जीते हैं। ऑल आर हैविंग बीटा वेव्स, सुपर थॉट्स। एक दिन में 60,000 से 80,000 थॉट्स आते हैं। इसको हाई बीटा वेव्स कह सकते हैं। और या DMN, डिफॉल्ट मोड नेटवर्क, एक ही विचार बार बार घूमता रहता है, उससे बाहर निकलना। और आपको अपने को अल्फा स्टेज में ले जाना है, जहां पर की जो फ्रीक्वेंसी है वो 8 से 13 तक की है, और उसमें 30 थॉट्स पर मिनट आते हैं, और उससे आगे फिर एक थीटा है जिसमें 15 थॉट्स पर मिनट आते हैं। सो दैट यू हैव टू गिव रिलैक्स टू योर हाइपर एक्टिव माइंड। और अभी आज ही सुबह बात हो रही थी, तो थॉट्स के बारे में ये बहुत जरूरी है कि थॉट इज द मोस्ट पोटेंट फोर्स इन द यूनिवर्स, बिकॉज थॉट्स आर आल्सो वाइब्रेशन ऑफ एनर्जी, दे आर जस्ट इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल रिएक्शंस। और ये हमारे वेदों में इस बात को समझा गया था, इसलिए मंत्रों की बड़ी उपयोगिता है। आज निकोला टेस्ला ने भी बात कही कि इफ यू वांट if you want to find the secret of the universe, thinks in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. Lower and high vibration affect your energy and health. इस बात को हमारे ऋषि मुनियों ने बहुत पहले समझ लिया, इसीलिए जो हमारे मंत्र हैं, ओम, गायत्री मंत्र, इवन जो अजान है, उन सब की हाई वाइब्रेशनल फ्रीक्वेंसी. If you recite that, your mind will get definitely quieter and less thoughts will come. अभी ये कुछ कहा गया है, I'm not confirmed, कि ओम की 432 हर्ट्ज की वाइब्रेशनल फ्रीक्वेंसी है, which is throughout in the nature. ओम को प्रणव ध्वनि कहा गया है. इस पे बहुत रिसर्च भी हो गई. तो 108 माला का भी अपना महत्व है, वो कभी बाद में बात करेंगे. वो मार्मा पॉइंट्स होते हैं बॉडी में, वाइटल पॉइंट्स, वो 108 ही होते हैं. खैर, उस पर बात करेंगे. तो मंत्रास आल्सो क्रिएट वाइब्रेशंस इन द बॉडी एंड declutter our mind and increase the ability to ignore negativity. तो वो से हमको अपने को क्या करना है, हमें अपने को एनर्जेटिक बनाना है. Spirituality is not about religion. Spirituality is way of life. Spirituality is transformation of life. Spirituality means कि how to lead a good quality life. Quality life. एक जगह मैंने कभी कहीं कहा था कि हमें अपना लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड ही नहीं बढ़ाना है, लाइफ स्टैंडर्ड भी बढ़ाना है. We have to give quality and quantity both to our life. बिना क्वालिटी के, बिना हैप्पीनेस कोशेंट के कोई मतलब नहीं, ना इनकम का ना वेल्थ का. तो हैप्पीनेस कोशेंट बढ़ना चाहिए. तो थॉट्स को हमें नियंत्रित करना है, माइंड को कंट्रोल करना है. वो अभी कहीं मैंने कहा आज सुबह ही कि विंड को कंट्रोल कर सकते हो, माइंड को कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते. बहुत बड़े तूफान को कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है. ये जो मैड मंकी है, 6 इंच के बीच में जो है मामला, ये इसको कंट्रोल करना बड़ा मुश्किल, पर लेकिन होता. कृष्ण ने फिर एक बात कही कि मुश्किल है लेकिन हो सकता है. उसके लिए क्या करो, रिपीटेड प्रैक्टिस, रिपीटेड प्रैक्टिस, रिपीटेड प्रैक्टिस. आज सुबह ही एग्जाम्पल दिया था मैंने बच्चों को 3 एथलीट्स का. 10,000 आवर्स की प्रैक्टिस अगर आप करेंगे लाइफ में किसी भी चीज की, तो आप परफेक्ट होंगे. और उसने बात कही कि कॉन्शियसली हम इनकॉम्पिटेंट हैं, तो आप पहले कॉन्शियसली कॉम्पिटेंट बनिए, फिर अनकॉन्शियसली कॉम्पिटेंट बनिए. उसके लिए एक ही चीज रिक्वायर्ड है, प्रैक्टिस, प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रैक्टिस. तो जब हम माइंड कंट्रोल की बात आते हैं तो उसके बाद सीधा संबंध हो जाता है प्रेजेंट मोमेंट अवेयरनेस का, कि यू शुड बी इन प्रेजेंट. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स आइदर वी आर इन द पास्ट और इन द फ्यूचर. तो हमारी जो पूरी एनर्जी है वो किसी काम में लग नहीं सकती. वी आर नॉट 100% प्रेजेंट. जब तक आप 100% प्रेजेंट नहीं होंगे, आप एक अच्छे लीडर नहीं हो सकते किसी भी काम के. एक अच्छे सक्सेसफुल किसी भी आर्मी को आप लीड नहीं कर सकते. यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी स्किल्ड एंड यू हैव टू बी प्रेजेंट 100% एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. उसके लिए प्रैक्टिस है, मेडिटेशन है, वो आगे कभी चर्चा करेंगे, समय कम है. एंड दूसरी बात, मेडिटेशन का एक अर्थ है टू गिव रेस्ट टू योर हाइपर एक्टिव माइंड and bring more present in your life, क्योंकि most of the time either we are in the past or we are in the future. उससे हमारी एनर्जी सैप हो रही है. We are not utilizing our energy thoroughly and fully. Second, learn to tolerate both ups and downs. ये मैंने पहले ही बोला कि आपके रिवार्ड का इससे कोई कंसर्न नहीं है, आपके एफर्ट्स. तो बी रेडी टू फेस द फेलियर्स. तो वो अप्स एंड डाउन्स को आपको फेस करना चाहिए. एक जो बहुत बड़े एथलीट थे जिन्होंने 122 रेसेस जीती, एडविन मोसेस, उनसे पूछा गया कि भाई आपकी सफलता का राज क्या है. तो उसने कहा, आई हैव ग्रेटर एबिलिटी टू टॉलरेट पेन देन अदर्स. तो दिस इज वंडरफुल सेंटेंस कि आई हैव अ बेटर एबिलिटी टू टॉलरेट द पेन, द फेलियर्स देन अदर्स. तो वही बहुत जरूरी है, ये हमें जानना कि लाइफ में ये चीजें आनी जरूरी है, कि अप्स एंड डाउन्स हर एक की लाइफ में आते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज वैल्यू ऑफ टाइम. टाइम की वैल्यू करिए. भगवान कृष्ण ने गीता में कहा, काल भी मैं हूं, मैं ही समय हूं. तो भगवान जब खुद कह रहा है कि वो समय है, तो समय का आदर करिए. और समय का प्रॉपर यूटिलाइजेशन बहुत जरूरी है. एक कितना समय है, 5 मिनट और है. और एक बात, एज ए सक्सेसफुल लीडर कैसे हो सकता है, किसे हम सक्सेसफुल लीडर करेंगे, तो मैं बिल्कुल प्रैक्टिकल बात बता रहा हूं जो मैं किया है पिछले 46 साल में, कि ऑथेंटिसिटी. आज वी आर फेसिंग क्राइसिस ऑफ क्रेडिबिलिटी. आज कोई भी कुछ बोल जाता है, उसके ऊपर आपका विश्वास नहीं. तो क्राइसिस ऑफ क्रेडिबिलिटी को दूर करना है. ट्रस्ट, ऑथेंटिसिटी, ट्रांसपेरेंसी, अनबायस्ड अप्रोच एंड एक्सेसिबिलिटी। ये मैं पहला, ये पांचों को मिला के एक बात कह रहा हूं कि ये सबसे पहली क्वालिटी होनी चाहिए कि लोग आप पे विश्वास कर सकें, जो हम कह रहे हैं वही हम करेंगे और जो हम कहते हैं वही हम करेंगे। कथनी और करनी में अंतर मिनिमम होना चाहिए, जितना कम हो जाए उतना बेटर। दूसरी बात, forceless force. I always believe in forceless force, that is love. Because according to me, love is an elevating force, love is an evolving force. It is a force which is always applicable. आपको हार्ट टू हार्ट बात करनी है, दिमाग से बात नहीं करनी। अपने एम्प्लॉइज से जिनके साथ आप काम कर रहे हैं, हैव अ वेरी वेरी फेयर टॉक with all of them. हार्ट टू हार्ट कम्युनिकेशन एंड फोर्सलेस फोर्स। यू शुड बी कंपैशनेट, मतलब आपके अंदर एक करुणा भी होना चाहिए, एक ममत्व का भाव भी होना, लेकिन राजधर्म का भी पालन करना। इफ एज अ डीजी आई हैव टू पनिश समबडी, आई हैव टू पनिश, क्योंकि वो मेरे राजधर्म का मामला है। लेकिन जो स्टूडेंट्स के साथ भी मेरी जो अप्रोच है वो यही है कि शिष्य गुरु कुम्हार शिष्य कुंभ है, गल गल काटे खोट, अंतर हाथ सहार दे बाहर मारे चोट। तो एज ए लीडर आपको ये रखना है कि आपके एम्प्लॉयज को किस तरह से, आपके साथ जो काम कर रहे हैं उनको आपको एम्पावर भी करना है, उनको आपको आगे भी बढ़ाना है। लेकिन जहां उनकी गलती है वो उसको बताना भी है। अगर आप नहीं बताएंगे तो आप कोई पादरी या संत नहीं है यहाँ पे, आप वहाँ पे प्रिंसिपल हैं, आप फैकल्टी मेंबर हैं, आप मैनेज सीईओ हैं। तो इट इज योर ड्यूटी कि ऑल द स्टाफ जो आपके साथ काम करे वो एक पर्टिकुलर धर्म का, एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेसेस का, एक स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसेसेस का भी पालन करें। दूसरी बात, एक लीडर के पास क्या होनी चाहिए? ओपन माइंडेडनेस होनी चाहिए, पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड हो, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, पार्टिसिपेटिव मैनेजमेंट है, सब जने अपनी राय देने के लिए स्वतंत्र हैं, क्योंकि मैं मानता हूं कि क्रिएटिविटी तभी आ सकती है जब स्पेस दी जाए, अदरवाइज क्रिएटिविटी कभी नहीं आएगी। तो क्रिएटिविटी को प्रमोट करना है, इनोवेशन को प्रमोट करना है, आउट ऑफ बॉक्स थिंकिंग को प्रमोट करना है कि किस तरह से उस समस्या का एक दूसरा भी हल हो सकता है। डेफिनेटली किसी ने पूछा, विजन भी होना चाहिए आपके अंदर, और वो विजन लीडर की क्वालिटी है कि वो अपने विजन को अपने साथियों के साथ शेयर करे और उसके साथी लोग उसको माने भी। उसको एक बड़ा अच्छा दिया था, अंध गज न्याय, एक कोटेशन है, अंध गज न्याय। लीडर नीड टू बी एबल टू सी द बिग पिक्चर एंड पास द विजन टू हिज टीम। और दूसरी बात, राजधर्म की जो बात है, तत् स्थाने आपने तत् धर्म लाभ। आप जिस पोस्ट में हैं उसकी जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उसको आपको सुलझाना, क्योंकि ये नहीं कर सकते कि व्हाट यू आर लुकिंग फॉर द चेयर बट यू आर नॉट लुकिंग फॉर द, यू शुड डिजर्व इट, यू शुड नॉट डिजायर फॉर योर चेयर, यू शुड डिजर्व फॉर योर चेयर। तो आपको डिजर्विंग बनना होगा, तो उसके लिए आपको अपने राजधर्म का, अपने कर्तव्यों का पालन जरूरी है, क्योंकि यही द्वंद्व था अर्जुन का। तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, यू हैव टू वर्क, यू हैव टू फाइट एंड फाइट अप टू द लास्ट। कर्म करो और पूरी दृढ़ता से कर्म करो, चाहे आगे आपके रिलेटिव्स हों तो भी कोई बात नहीं, पर आपको अपना धर्म निभाना। एक अंतिम बात जो है, जो एज ए लीडर आपको आनी चाहिए फ्यूचर में जब आप लीडर बने, और मैंने इसको हमेशा ध्यान रखा है, और वो रामचरितमानस में बहुत अच्छा क्या कहा गया है कि आत्म पक्ष और लोक पक्ष का समन्वय करें। आत्म पक्ष माने कि आप अच्छे हैं हों भी, और लोक पक्ष का मतलब कि आप लोग आपको अच्छा माने भी। दोनों चीजें होनी चाहिए, आप ईमानदार भी हों और लोग आपको ईमानदार माने भी। ये दोनों का समन्वय है। इसके ऊपर बहुत बड़ी चर्चा की जा सकती है, 1 घंटे का लेक्चर इसी पर हो सकता है बाद में कभी, लेकिन ये आत्म पक्ष और लोक पक्ष का समन्वय हर लीडर के लिए बहुत जरूरी, चाहे वो कहीं पर किसी भी स्थान में बैठा हो, कि लोग उसकी इस बात को समझें। क्योंकि देयर इज नो हार्म, आप ये कह सकते हैं कि मैं तो अंदर से अच्छा हूं सर, मेरे बारे में जो लोग कहते हैं वो मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है उससे। नहीं, अगर आप लीडर हैं, अगर आप टॉप पर बैठे हैं, सीईओ हैं, तो आपका हर एक्शन लोगों के द्वारा देखा जाता है, वो उसको सुनते हैं, समझते हैं और फिर उसको डिस्कस करते हैं। अब आप लाल कमीज पहन के और लाल शर्ट पहन के और लाल पैंट पहन के आ सकते हैं, बट देन यू शुड बी रेडी टू बी क्रिटिसाइज्ड। तो आपको लोक पक्ष का ध्यान रखना ही होगा, आत्म पक्ष का भी और लोक पक्ष का। इसका रामचरितमानस में बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे उदाहरण हैं, कभी विस्तार से चर्चा होगी तो देखेंगे, क्योंकि आई वांट टू बी पंक्चुअल, बिकॉज आपका आधा घंटे का 25 मिनट शायद मेरे हो चुके हैं। सो और कोई छोटी मोटी बात हो तो मैं जरूर, किसी को पूछना हो। एक सवाल हो सकता है कि हम फोकस कैसे रहें और मोटिवेटेड कैसे रहें? तो भाई ड्रीम अगर आपका अपना है तो आप मोटिवेटेड भी रहेंगे और फोकस भी रहेंगे। अधिकतर हम लोगों दूसरों के सपने पे जीते हैं, तो अपनों को पहचानिए, अपने ड्रीम पर काम करिए कि आपके का क्या ड्रीम है, और सपने ऐसे होने चाहिए जो आपको सोने ना दें। जब आपका अपना सपना होगा तो मोटिवेशन भी आएगा और फोकस भी आएगा। और अंतिम बात, गहरे उतरिए। जिन खोजा तिन पाइया गहरे पानी पैंट। चाहे वो IIM बेंगलोर में हम पढ़ लें, वहां भी कहा जाता है गॉड लाइज इन डिटेल, या गॉड डेविल लाइज इन डिटेल, डेविल लाइज इन डिटेल। लेकिन कबीर साहब ने उसको कह दिया, जिन खोजा तिन पाइया गहरे पानी पैंट। तो मैंने 3 बातें मैं आपसे कहना चाहूंगा कि 3 बातें होनी चाहिए जब आप निर्णय लें। गहन मंथन, बहुत आराम से सुने, गहन मंथन, शुद्ध चिंतन, पवित्र विवेचन। तो आपके हर निर्णय में अगर तीनों का समन्वय है तो आपके निर्णय शुद्ध होंगे, अच्छे होंगे, कल्याणकारी होंगे, और आपको लोग एक विजनरी लीडर मानेंगे। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you so much, sir. It was such an enlightening and informative session. And I must say, it was such a tough task, such a difficult task to create such a power pack session, put in so many life lessons into it, and still keep it for such a short time frame. We are definitely longing for extended sessions from you, sir. And thank you so much. This will definitely help us lead a fulfilled life. Thank you so much, sir. And you also found time to respond to a couple of queries that was asked by students, which I shared with you. Thank you for that, sir.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite Mr. Anup Menon. He will share his expertise about how to build your network and advance your career using LinkedIn. Mr. Anup Menon has more than a decade-long experience of working in field of training, recruitment, and client relations for various established companies like UFC Saudi Arabia, Magna Global, S2 Infotech, and Times Group. He is now working with LinkedIn and leading the company as Regional Director Higher Education. He is known for his ability to develop innovative concepts and fresh approach to attain business goals. Often referred as very gentleman and balanced professional by his clients and peers, as I can see on the LinkedIn recommendation. Let me pass on the spotlight to Mr. Anup Menon and learn to be a LinkedIn pro, taking tips from his session. Anupji, the stage is yours.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. So Rohit, quick comment here. I'm not able to share my screen. You'll have to just activate that. But thank you so much for that introduction. And I welcome everyone, and I should thank Arun sir and Rohit for organizing this, inviting me and my colleague Sakshi into this session. So that's a lot said by Rohit today, but just an extension to what Arun sir said was being or creating that cosmic identity. There are so many things. Arun sir, first of all, it was so nice to keep hearing you. I really thought that let the session be entirely of yours. I think I will be a disturbance in this session, because that flow was actually catching up very well. And as Rohit said, so many life lessons which we are learning today, that it has to be, it has to be a balanced life. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. So to everyone here, I'm going to kind of switch gears and, bring into you something very important. And I'm trying my level best to connect few things which Arun sir said in terms of creation of identity, showing your values, your perception, attitude. How will you create that thought mentality within you? So before I begin, let me give you a small introduction about me over and above what Rohit said. So I've been with LinkedIn for 6 years now, and within the 6 years, what I've been doing is I've been helping a lot of communities of people in terms of, let it be students, let it be housewives, let it be physically disabled people. There are different communities of people who needs to come out in the market today, come out in the industry, and they need to get into the mainstream. And where LinkedIn comes into play today is when we enable a person to showcase their identity on LinkedIn and showcase their true values. And this is where LinkedIn has been thriving across the globe, because the idea here is to, be available and be present at the right time so that you are one of the person who's a beneficiary of the content being discussed or content being shared within the entire LinkedIn ecosystem. So I'm going to dive right in, because of time constraint. Like even like Arun sir session, LinkedIn is something which is extremely students. And I'm feel free to ask me any questions. We have kept some time towards the end, but I'm assuming a fact that most of them are already on LinkedIn today. And how is it that you can enhance your entire usage of LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn is something which everyone says that, okay, I know I have it, I have a LinkedIn profile, yeah, but I'm not very active on it. So we are going to explore that segment of it, why a student should do it, and how are you going to benefit out of it. So basically I have a basic understanding about student community, and I've been meeting a lot of colleges, but the basic identity you should keep in mind is a LinkedIn profile is something which is your identity today. Okay, when I say your identity, it is that profile which is talking for you, working for you when you are sitting at home or when you are asleep. Getting it? Because that's the place where people come, they look at your profile, and then they make judgments about you in terms of, yes, he's a good person, yes, he seems to be nice, I can really see his team working abilities through his profile because he's done this, he's put up these posts, I can really see his values coming out through this through this article which he's posted. Now that's exactly what we are referring to, what LinkedIn is all about. Yeah, so that's now LinkedIn is social in nature, but the concept of LinkedIn is we have got every segment of people here. As I said earlier, we have housewives, we have freshers, we have obviously students, we have people who are chefs, we have people who are different walks of life, we have obviously, and then comes a the larger segment of people who are the core professional, the CEOs of company, the presidents of company. Everyone are on LinkedIn, and everyone has a different concept of why they are on LinkedIn. There is no one reason they are, and you need to create that reason for yourself. And that's where every person starts their journey on LinkedIn. So for few of them, it will be searching for jobs. For few of them, for most of them, it is building a network of people. So I want to just pause here a bit and probably ask you guys a question. Do you all know which community of people are the most active on LinkedIn? Like, are they sales people? Are they finance people? Can people just populate the chat? I just want to see, if y'all have a concept into it. Anything? Because there are most of it, most of the people who typically are active on LinkedIn, but they are active on LinkedIn for several reasons. So, and the biggest community here which actually is active are the recruiter community. People who actually are on LinkedIn, who are always searching for people, so that they can offer them a job, so that they can reach out to them and give them opportunities in different areas. And now these are the community, and there is a reason why that community is very active. That they are active because they know that LinkedIn is a place where professionals and students come, they build up a good profile. And the reason for building up a profile is so that they can show the world what they do, which college they are from, what kind of skills do they have, what kind of perception or attributes do they carry. So this is where LinkedIn comes, and that's where your role plays a very vital, you play a very vital role in that segment. Yeah. So moving ahead, everything starts with that one thing which is called as your LinkedIn profile. This is very, very, very basic in nature. But as human beings, the more basic it is, the more we don't do it. And that's exactly the reason I thought, I should do this session for the entire student community. It doesn't depend on which region, what. It is basically, everyone should have this concept of what are the things I should have on my LinkedIn profile and what are the things I should not. Yeah. I'm going to quickly run through this because I feel that, this may not be very difficult for a student to understand. I will start with the most common thing, which is called as a photograph. This is absolutely non-negotiable, and always have a authentically clicked photograph on your LinkedIn profile, because this is what tells the world about you as a professional. We always heard about passport size photograph. Why does a passport need a passport size photograph? Why does our college need a passport size photograph? Because we know that we will show our true self in that. We are not in that mode wherein we are taking pictures with trees and mountains and beaches. No. So this is the reason you click one photograph for yourself through a mobile phone. Typically make it a point that you have a good kind of face coverage. And let me tell you one thing. If you talk to me as a professional, I do not accept profiles, I do not accept connection requests when there is no profile picture in it, because I lack the trust in that person. Same is the case with majority of the people out there. And one of the reason why you should have a profile photo is because it creates that a lot of people come and view your profile. Then you by default get a lot of views. Yeah, so that is non-negotiable. Second comes the location. A basic tip here, I mean, I don't need to say that you need to write a location, but always write the right location. Why? Because a lot of people end up writing India. A lot of people probably write that their home location or their work location. Try and write the location where you're currently based, because it helps in the networking element, so that people can reach out to you. There are job opportunities, if there are networking opportunities in, say, Indore, but you have written India as a location, people will not reach out to you for any opportunity. You're getting it? So you miss out. Yeah. Third is a summary. Now, summary is a place where I will give you a tip. This is my personal tip, and this is something which I've read in many places. Always have this in 3 segments. First, what are you currently doing? Second, what have you done in the past? And third, what are your future aspirations? Okay. Now, this is the place you get to become creative. You can write everything. What are you currently doing? I'm studying, I'm student. These are my skills. This is what I've been doing. These are my projects. What was your past? I came from so and so background. This is the schooling I did. These are the tasks which I did in my when I was in my secondary education. What is my future? This is my future. I would like to get a job into an IT organization, a product company, a manufacturing company. I want to go outside of India for studies. Now, this is where you get to talk about you as a professional. Yeah. Now, very you should always pick from the drop down. Okay, you should always pick from the drop down, and that's the place which will give you, and that's where it will tag you to the right company. Yeah, right organization or right institution. Always remember that. Yeah, and always clearly mention everything. It is not just to do with education. Even if you're talking about, if you have some bit of work experience, always search for that company's logo and then put it up there that you're working with this company. Yeah. Now, the fifth point, which is a volunteering, is something which I have seen extremely built up in the last 2 or 3 years, especially when pandemic has come, because people want to see the real values and perceptions and attitude level of students, when they want to hire, or any professional for that matter. And LinkedIn plays a very key role. And how people have been doing, let me tell you, a lot of people have been tagging themselves, or showcasing to the world the softer side of their life. What is the softer side of their life is, which actually tells volumes about you as a student and you as a professional. For example, today you're working with some NGO on your free time. Please put it up on LinkedIn. If you're associating any group of children, you're helping them for their studies or whatever, please put it up on children. If you're running a marathon, please put it up on LinkedIn. If you're associated with any, any groups or organizations who are doing something for people with disabilities, please put it up in LinkedIn, because these are your values. These are your, perceptions about different things. And this speak to the outside world about what kind of a professional you are. And today, like Arun sir was saying, not just individuals, even organizations are being built on the concept of values. When they look for people who match their values. Okay, I see a lot of softer side. A person is very good at music. He's been teaching music. He's been doing. Please put it up there. There's a lot of people interested in hiring such people. Okay. Skills endorsements. Important. You as a student, skill you have and the kind of recommendations you've got. Yeah, recommendations are something. Keep the certain tips and recommendations. Do not take only from wide range of recommendations. When I say that family, you will have recommendation from different sources, so that it talks to others about you as a person in a very 360-degree angle. Yeah, so it's not biased, because if a student writes about a student, we know what he'll write, and it shows to the outside community that, okay, this is all one type of testimonials. Like Rohit was talking about my testimonials, I usually take it from my customers, my clients, my batchmates, my colleagues, my everyone. So fit for our organization. That's the perception people gets. Yeah. The languages which you speak, your qualifications and awards which you received. I don't even need to get there, but you have to put it up there. And a lot of confusion comes when students ask me, sir, I had done a certification course 3 months back or 3 years back. Can I put it up there? My answer is yes, please do. Because that's what talks about, because that's your entire learning, education career graph there, which and speaks about you as a skill developer, as a person who is in the career segment. You're learning skills yourself, you're learning newer values, and you're learning newer skills. So no non-negotiable, please put it up there. So this is basically the do's and don'ts, or I didn't say too many of the don'ts, but the do's of LinkedIn profile. Yeah. Moving ahead now, networking. Now, once you build a profile, what comes next? LinkedIn is built on the concept of networking, which means people communicate to each other. Like I said, who is that community who is maximum present on LinkedIn today? It is a recruiter community. Why? Because they're always in hunt of people. They always want to know what's happening in LinkedIn. And that's exactly the reason why you should be active here. And there are certain basic principles. Whom will you network with to start off? When you have a LinkedIn profile, please start by connecting with friends and family first. Yeah, that is, they are your first set of people who know you personally, who know you professionally. There is no chance they will click on the reject button. No, I don't know this person, right? If they click on I don't know this person, then there is a bigger problem we need to handle. So that is one. Second is start following your own university and alumni network, because they are the second set of people who will know you, or even if they don't know you, they at least can associate with the fact that this person is from my college, so I can connect with them. So there is a warm introduction there, a warm knowing of who this person is. Yeah. Once you do these two segments, now that's when LinkedIn understands what kind of a professional you are and keep giving you suggestions in terms of whom should you network with, or who are the people whom you will know in terms of mutual connections and all. And this is where the earlier topic which I told you about, it is very important for you to tag yourself to the right college. The name of the college should be right. Okay, if you're working somewhere, put it up as a right company name along with the right logo. Yeah. Now, networking is something which is, which every person today who's connected to you is basically creating a potential opportunity for you. You need to understand that. Yeah. So it can be a job opportunity, it can be an internship opportunity, it can be just a project opportunity, mentorship opportunity. So you should take this very seriously, at least at a student level, because a lot of people today come to me and say, Anup, I see a lot of junk data coming on LinkedIn. Why is that so? Because my answer to them is, if you connect to people from diversified sectors, they will all display their work. If I go and talk to a motivational speaker has their own content. They will put up a bright sunshine and they will put up some post. And I see that. If I get connected to a fashion designer, they will put up their work. If I connect to a chef, they will put up their work. So you need to know very well whom should I connect with. Okay. And so that you get the right content, and that right content is something you're going to use for the future. Because there are two things which people say on LinkedIn or any professional site: you invest time, whereas on a social media, you spend time. Because what you do on a social media, like a Facebook, Instagram, you just be there for an hour and it's over. All you get is depression looking at other people going on holidays and people buying expensive stuff. But in LinkedIn, what happens is you get a lot of information. You get to know that some company has acquired some company. You get to know that X company in Indore or X company in Bhopal or in Bangalore or in Bombay has started hiring freshers. You get to know that some head of HR of some company has moved from this company to that company. These are piece of elements and of information which is kind of important for you to process. And this is why networking is important. Yeah. So alumni network, don't forget that, because they are your core people in this entire networking journey of yours. Okay. Send connection request, few hygiene factors. Okay. Do not send a connection request unlimited. Keep it very simple to send it to people whom you know, because if more number of people click that I don't know this gentleman, LinkedIn will stop the capacity for you to share more connection requests. Because if people will not accept it, we don't want to spam people, right? So keep it slow. It is an organic growth. It is not an organic. You cannot be a person with 10,000 connections overnight. No, it has to be a few years journey for you. And people who try to run fast, their profiles get blocked, because eventually they're kind of spamming everyone. They send connection requests to everyone. Do not do that. Yeah. Now for you as students, it's very important that job search is one of the most important elements within LinkedIn. Now, in job search, my recommendation to everyone is always have a very structured approach. What is a structured approach is, now you can keep adding to what I've been telling you. First, have a good profile. Okay. Second, start networking. And third is more about jobs. Now, why am I telling you this is because a lot of people just settle for jobs which may be relevant to their studies, or something which they didn't want to do. This is because you have not invested enough time. I was hearing to Arun sir when he was saying that your destiny is in your control. If you give this to someone else, then your happiness quotient will never be there. So your structured job search will be very critical, and LinkedIn gives you certain things. For example, if you see on the screen, first of all, if you're a job aspirant, if you're looking for anything, there are features available in LinkedIn which will enable you to be showcased to the outside world that you're a person who's open to network, you're a person who's open to job, and you can badge yourself that, so that relevant people reach out to you. Second is, if you go to your job section on LinkedIn, you can set alerts now. You can have your own set of 10 companies, 15 companies, and you say that whenever these companies post a fresher job, I should get an alert first. And this is exactly what other students are doing of other locations. They are setting alerts so that they can immediately get a job notification when some organization puts up something. What they do is, now their networking skills, now their job application skills, everything comes to their rescue. Because I always say this line to everyone: you cannot be a one message wonder on LinkedIn. You cannot be a one conversation wonder. It is a continuous journey which you have to follow. And I always give an example that this is like a gym membership. Gym membership means it's good to have, but if you don't really go invest time and go to the gym and do your exercises, it's not going to be beneficial to you. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents about job search. Okay, always invest time in searching for job, networking with the right people, get in touch with the HR community, set alerts so that you're always updated about what's happening. Yeah, because LinkedIn, we get at least one job every 2 seconds or 3 seconds. A new job is posted through different search engines. Yeah. Okay, now application and your job interviews. Now, this is absolutely critical. Now, first of all, you need to understand that your LinkedIn profile is your resume. Okay, obviously, you can have a separate word copy resume, but this is the thing which you should be positioning in most of the places. Why? As I told you initially, all those attributes of, having your volunteer experience, what kind of content you're posting, what kind of testimonials you have, who has recommended you, what skills. This is something which the whole world wants to see, not that word copy resume wherein you have said, I am good at this, I am good at that. So word copy resume is one place where everyone are best at everything they do, whereas LinkedIn is some place wherein you cannot be best because you will have to write the truth. And this is what other organizations have understood, that okay, fine, if it is LinkedIn, there has to be truth because the LinkedIn profile is being seen by 1,000 people, of that community. If you're not good at it, you will not clearly mention. Yeah. So make sure every event or activity which happens in your life which is worthy of a professional comment, please put it up there. If you come and you get an opportunity to deliver a session in some place, come and put it up on LinkedIn. Tell that I delivered this session, because after a month you will not remember this, but LinkedIn will remember this, and others, when they look at your profile, they will know that Anup, as a student, delivered a small session to a group of students who are from this community, and did something for them. This speaks volumes about what kind of a person you are. You have to do your networking. You have to know your own worth, so that you will now do very well in your job interview process. If you connect the dot to my previous slide of networking, let me just tell you something. Okay, assume a situation that you are having an interview with a company. Let's take with Infosys. Okay, assume you're a student who's been following Infosys as a company. You've been connected to few recruiters. You've been connected to few freshers who have joined Infosys, and you've already know many things because your newsfeed shows them. Okay, now you sit for an interview versus a person who are just good at your academics. Okay, and you go and sit in an interview table. What do you think? Who will get more preference? My opinion is the person who's been well known about Infosys as a brand, when Infosys, the values of Infosys, he'll be given more preference today in today's world. Why? Because they need a person who gel along with their work attributes, their values, and that's where your role plays. So you cannot start LinkedIn late. You have to start LinkedIn early in your career, and that's when things will change for you. Yeah. Uh, the your newsfeed, this is the entire accumulation of all the people whom you have connected with. This is where all those people will put up their news, or whatever updates you get it here. And this is where you will spend most of the time on LinkedIn, just to gather content, understand what are the current topics. Okay, and what are the ideas coming up, what are the news coming up, what are the new innovations coming up. Everything comes up here, and this is the place you will be spending most of your time. My recommendation: go and join groups as much as you can, because groups are the places where a lot of closed discussions happen, wherein they only accept those people who are like-minded. If you're a student of, say, engineering, mechanical engineering, they will only accept mechanical engineering professionals. You get to learn a lot about what kind of discussions are happening there. If you're from a different segment, you get to do that. Yeah. So always make it a point to browse through your LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is also available as an app. And today in India, more than 65% of the LinkedIn consumption is happening through mobile phones. Yeah, so this is one of the reasons why we say you have to not just be a consumer of content, you also need to provide content, so that you are part of the both give and take machinery of LinkedIn, and people respect you for what is the kind of thought leadership you bring in. Like if you're a student, if you're a professional, put some content up there so that the world will know you or judge you basis the content what you're putting up. That's what is called as thought leadership. You create a perception about you for others, through putting up these content and delivering these content. And then comes the last segment today from my side. It is more about LinkedIn learning, but this is the most critical aspect which every student is doing today. And my colleague Sakshi is actually going to cover that portion for you. And LinkedIn learning is something wherein most of the students have started using it, okay, which comes along with LinkedIn as a tool. And how is it that I can quickly grab those skills which are available in the market? How is it that I can, understand which are the fastest growing skills? How is it that I can quickly, get that information of delivering a right interview? How do I answer to right questions? How should I deal with a coworker? Everything. There are so many content available, and students are, this is the tool which actually bridges the gap between a student's academic life and a corporate life. Like for example, if recently I saw this, a person was trying to see, how do I become a good software engineer? You're not trying to learn the concepts of software engineer, but how do I become a good software engineer from a very soft skills perspective? How do I keep my interpersonal relationship? How do I join somewhere and have a mentor in that company? These are the small things which will succeed, and this is where LinkedIn plays a key role. So this is the thing which I wanted to cover today. Majorly, it's high time that you come to LinkedIn and start creating a profile for yourself. Have the certain do's and don'ts about LinkedIn. Okay, make it a point that you send connection requests to people. Have a calendarized approach. Okay, what I mean by calendarized approach is, decide that every 2 weeks I'm going to post some content. Okay, and content will be related to my industry, whatever I'm studying in today. Yeah. So what happens is, you are gaining two things. One is you're becoming a thought leader by posting. Second is you yourself start being active on LinkedIn. You start absorbing a lot of content, consuming a lot of content, which is good for you in the long run. Because when you're sitting on the interview table, when you say that, sir, I've been following TCS as a company since almost 2 years. I already know that you've acquired these 3 companies because I've been following not just TCS as a company, but also certain leaders of that company. So I already know this is what is happening. These are the challenges which you're facing. Recently, you acquired this company. For me, you're a select directly. I don't want to know what skills you have, but that's because obviously skill matters. I'm just being too what metaphorical here, but for me, the attitude of this person is brilliant. He wanted something. He's been working on it for last 1.5, 2 years. And here he is at the interview table giving me all the information which I really want to hear. Like recently you did some X activity, you sponsor the marathon. That's really good. Even I'm a person who, believes in such events and activities. Even I have run marathons. TCS run something for fundraising. Even I do that. I did that, and I got motivated because of the reason why you all did it. So understanding. So basically being on LinkedIn actually takes your career trajectory to the next level. And that's exactly what we are trying to do here. So that's it from my end to everyone. I see a lot of hand raised, but I think we will take questions towards the end, I believe. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing right now, and yeah, I think I've covered good enough. I know there are a lot of questions. This happens every time when I run these sessions. Questions are plethora in number, but as of now, thank you so much. I'll hand it over to Rohit again, and we'll move to the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anupji. I should say, wow, such a useful session. And I could not, like just DG sir mentioned about authenticity, and I could not agree more to you that, frankly speaking, LinkedIn is the most authentic source to showcase your skills as professional, even for students, fresher, even for experienced professional like us. definitely it is the number one place. Secondly, I really love the point that amid so much of negativity around social network, LinkedIn stands out as a unique network where you invest time and you don't kill time. So which is so true, and it's one of the most it's the only social network that I actually use. So that's
Thank
the
you
only
so much.
app.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
it definitely benefits. Lastly, the constructive tips that you gave. I used to think I am a very proactive LinkedIn user, but now I would rate my profile at 3 out of 10. And I need to work very much on improving the profile. And this will definitely help me and the students and attendees, those who have gone through the tips. So
Right.
thank you so much. Really
My
a
pleasure.
useful session. And thanks for consulting me.
No problem. I'm always happy. Stay connected with us, so you'll see a lot of content being posted. So what happens is, you can use our content itself. LinkedIn itself has a news team, and we keep publishing, so that can be utilized by students.
I'm already following you and Sakshi ji.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much again. And moving on, regarding the Q&A, definitely the students are also querying on the WhatsApp. So we'll be starting the chat feature after Sakshiji's session, and there
Sure.
we can, after the pre-queries that we have through registration, we can,
Sure.
if time permits, we'll take up on-spot queries.
No problem. Happy to do that. Thank you.
So moving on, our last session for this event is about how can students learn new age skills, enhance employability, build in-demand skills, and gain the insights needed to reform their career path. I welcome the speaker for this session, Ms. Sakshi Salaria, Engagement Lead, Higher Education, LinkedIn India. She is a senior sales professional with over 15 years of enterprise sales and business development experience. She has worked with premier companies like Sifi Technologies, SpaceNet, Tata Communication, Vodafone Business, Gartner at strategic roles. She is passionate about the latest technology, innovation, and how can this be used to help partners to become more successful in what they do. She is recommended and recognized by peers for her focused, sincere, and solution-oriented approach towards complicated problems. An easygoing, friendly, and hardworking person, it is my pleasure to pass on the spotlight to Sakshi ji for her session.
Thanks, Rohit. Thanks a lot. So hello, everyone. Really grateful to be part of this session. And thanks, Anup, for the amazing session on how to build a powerful profile on LinkedIn. Thanks, Arun sir, for the session. I must say that you spoke about, the true essence of life. And you shared everything in a very simple way. Really look forward to hear more from you sometime in future. And I'll talk bit about myself, about my role at LinkedIn. So I have been with LinkedIn for 2 years now. I lead the LinkedIn learning and employee engagement bit for higher education. I also handle a couple of key corporate clients, the large corporates, when it comes to their LinkedIn learning and employee engagement strategy. I do consult them as to what kind of skill gap exists, what is it that they can do better when it comes to employee engagement. Today, what I'll do is I'll be talking to you about LinkedIn learning. As Anup has already covered one part of it, and he has already shared with you that how important are skills for us. Like you need to have a good profile picture, you need to have a good profile. But what is the content that is on your profile that more and more people are attracted to employ you in their organization? Because today, most of the Fortune organizations, the small organizations, the mid-sized organizations are recruiting freshers, experienced professionals on LinkedIn. From 2010 till date, whatever jobs I have done, all my jobs changes have happened because somebody found me on LinkedIn platform. They approached me, they spoke to me about the role. I liked the role and I moved on to my next big role. Now I just share my screen. See my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So what we do when we say that we talk about LinkedIn learning, So basically, I have divided it into two parts. I'll share a quick presentation with all of you, and then I'll show you like how the content part of content works on the platform. So how content looks on the platform, how you can kind of access the content. Now, basically, it is a leading online learning platform which students can kind of use to learn skills and then add those skills to their LinkedIn profile. Now, here, as Anup spoke about the professional brand part, so I'm going to skip it. So basically, you can have a very good LinkedIn profile. You can build your network. You can add the relevant skills to your network. Now, when it comes to skill part, how do you know like what kind of skills you need to first of all add on your profile? And secondly, do you think that you know all the skills today, or you need to kind of upskill? So when we talk about LinkedIn Learning, we are an e-learning library of over 16,000 courses. Every week, we add around 60 new courses to our library. Now, this content which I'm talking to you, like 16,000 courses, this is curated by world's topmost professionals, topmost authors, topmost professors for the students and for the professors. Everything gets curated in-house at LinkedIn Studios, which are based out of United States. Whether you are a presenter based out of India, whether you are a presenter based out of some other part of the world, everything gets curated in our studio. Now, third part, which you see on my screen, is strategic insights. What we say is that you leverage LinkedIn's economic graph to gain insights to inform your career path and skills to learn next. Now, what is the economic graph? Today, we have over 780 million professionals on our platform. So those professionals represent the economic graph. We have job opportunities also. So we know like what kind of skills are required for future. Based upon the skill insights that we get, our in-house team curates the content, and we have that content available for students on LinkedIn Learning platform. Now, here, as you can see, like we have 16,000 plus courses. These courses are available in seven languages. For Indians, yes, we have content in English. We have around 10,500 courses available in English. The other courses are available in some other foreign languages like Japanese, Mandarin, German, French, etc. This is what, at a broader level, we have these different pillars like leadership and management, functional roles, tech roles, soft skills role, creativity related roles. So these are the broader topics, but I'll deep dive when we go to the platform. Now, this is a report which we published like in 2018. And what we found was that 54% of all faculty, staff, and student learners will have out-of-date skills and would require upskilling. Now, what that means is what we are doing today might not be applicable 2 to 3 years down the line. And in today's world, where we are talking about digital transformation, we have seen that skills are changing very fast. So how we keep ourselves upskilled, how we know that the content which we are reading today is relevant tomorrow or not, I'm going to cover that also in the next part. Now, just to make it little simple for you all to understand, what I did was I kind of went to my LinkedIn page and I found some freshers or some jobs which are in experience range of under like 2 years. Now, as you can see on my screen, there is this job of Java lead at Infosys. Now, I have highlighted some skills on this particular job. Any job posting which you feel like you desire to be in that particular role, or you think that this is the kind of job I want after my campus, you look at that job and highlight the skills the way I have highlighted. Now, the first job which is at Infosys, here are the skills like Java, Agile, product lifecycle, etc. Good communication skills. When I say good communication skills, that doesn't mean that you should be only able to communicate nicely. Something like a conflict management. You are working on a project. How nicely you manage the conflict. Something like, say you are in an individual contributor role and you are doing a project with multiple stakeholders. How you lead when people are not even directly reporting into you for that particular project. Some of these softer aspects are also important for us to be very successful in our job. Now, other role, I have picked like 3 different kind of roles. You can Similarly, you can do it for yourself. Now, this is a job opening at Facebook, which is for internal solution engineer. Now, when you want to apply for an opening for this kind of a role, these are some of the skills which you need to know, like Java, Python, PHP. The third one is mostly focusing on the management students, the BBA students, the MBA students, the management trainee for recruitment, for HR function of a corporate organization. These are some of the skills which are focused when we look at this particular JD. Excel, presentation skills, PR skills, compliance and process adherence, etc. So in my next part of demo, what I'll do is I share the platform with you and I'll show you like how we can address some of these. Now, as you can see here, this is my LinkedIn profile. Every profile has certain set of skills which are already there on my profile. There will be an industry, what industry I work for. Now, this is my LinkedIn account. All of you may have a LinkedIn profile. Now, you can have a LinkedIn app on your device. Maybe some of you may already have, some of you might not have. So there is a LinkedIn app which you will find on the App Store. Now there is something called as learning. When I click on work and I click on learning, it takes me to my LinkedIn learning account here, right? Now, what you can see here is my individual learning page. What is it that I'm doing? What kind of recommendations are there? Now, this is the desktop version of LinkedIn learning. Now, sometimes, we say that we are not always connected. We don't have internet at so-and-so place or at home. Now, what we can do here is for that, we need to install LinkedIn Learning app. LinkedIn Learning app works in the same way our Netflix or Amazon Prime works. It's a very intuitive AI ML driven engine. Now, what I mean is you install the app, you can also view the content offline on the app. So you download a course, you are on the go, you don't have any network, you complete the downloaded course the same way you watch a Netflix or a Prime series offline. Then as and when you connect online, it syncs up with your learning history. So typically, if you are traveling or you are at a place where there is less connectivity, you can download and view it like that. Now, every LinkedIn learning account is kind of married with your LinkedIn profile. Now, what that means is there are certain skills which are there on my LinkedIn profile. This is my LinkedIn learning account. There are certain skills which are there on my LinkedIn learning account. Now, the skills which I have added on my LinkedIn learning account here are the skills which I want to acquire. Okay. Now, this is very intuitive, very AI driven platform. So what that means is here it is saying top picks for Sakshi. Now, based upon the kind of courses I have done in past, based upon the skills I feel like I want to acquire, like recently I did a couple of courses on photography, my personal interest area, data analytics, and everything which I have done on the platform or the kind of skills I want to acquire, it will show me the courses relevant to that. Now, what that means is as soon as I complete this particular course, this particular skill gets added to my profile. Okay. So I'll show you like how that happens also. The platform also talks about like we have a huge library of 16,000 courses. Everything will not be relevant to you. So it will also talk to you about new releases, which will be relevant to you. Not everything will show up here for you. Something which is relevant to your present skills and the future skills that you want to acquire. Now, this is something which we started recently, like almost 6 months back. This is called as live office hours with experts. Now, if I click here, you'll be able to see that there are a lot of live office hours. You can click at any of these live office hours and attend this event when you have LinkedIn Learning access. So say if I want to do this positioning yourself for tech jobs abroad, this is the event which is happening on Friday, which is today 10:30 p.m. India time, because it is happening in the other region. So if I click on attend, it gets synced up with my calendar. All right, now you'll be able to see content from your college. You'll be able to see the week's toply courses, etc. Now, what I want to show you here is I spoke about the library. Now we have library across business, creative, and technology. We have 16,000 plus courses across these 3 libraries. Now you can randomly click at any topic, say spreadsheet. You click on spreadsheet, you'll be able to find almost everything which is related to spreadsheet, how you can master that particular skill. But what I do here is, instead of showing you some random skill, I just spoke about those three job postings. The first one was Infosys, then was with Facebook, and the third one was a recruiter opening. So the first job description spoke about some of the skills like Java, architecture and design, so and agile also. So maybe let me show you, like if I type Java here, so you can type the competency here, you can type the skill here, you can type your learning objective here, and it will show you the relevant content. Now when I type Java, right, it will show me all the latest and the relevant content which we have on the platform related to Java. Now, this is a course on Java, which you can take on platform. Now, yeah. So whenever you click on a course, you can view the overview. You can read about that particular course. You can see what kind of learning objectives we are trying to cover when we offer you a particular course on the platform. What kind of skills will get added to your profile once you have completed this particular course. You can even see that there are learning groups which this course is part of, and you can also join this particular learning group on LinkedIn Learning. You can download these exercise files in the beginning on your device so that you can practice while you are taking this particular course. And you can also view that what kind of certifications you will get once you have completed this particular course. And you can see that Kevin is a presenter here, and you can see that you can actually see what Kevin does. You can even view his profile on LinkedIn. So you can go and you can see he's a course instructor at LinkedIn, and that is his current role, but you can see all he's doing. Now, I again go back to the course. Now, what we are trying to say you here is that we offer you bite-sized learning. You'll be able, like every course is divided into different chapters. And as you can see here on my screen, every chapter kind of is further divided into multiple sub-chapters, subtopics. So like this, I'll just quickly play something for you.
Developers that provides a standard approach for developing web-based systems that require API enablement, data persistence, messaging, and the basic application concerns. Hi, I'm Kevin Bowersox. I've been a full-stack Java developer for over 10 years. I can show you how to deliver systems with...
Right? You can even ask your questions here to the presenter. Your questions will be answered by the presenter. You can also interact with your peers or other learners in the community who are taking a training on Java EE. So all of that can be done here. Now I'll just quickly go back. I want to show you something which is a learning path. Now the difference between a course and a learning path is a combination of multiple courses. This was Java Essential Training. Now you want to be a Java developer. Here we'll show you more of a practical approach which you can actually apply in your day-to-day learning when you join a particular job. So say if you are appearing for an interview with Infosys, if you have done this kind of course and you speak about some of the things which you already know, like you can see, it has different kinds of courses. One more skill I want to pick and I want to show you was I'll not talk about all the skills in interest of time. Maybe let's talk about PHP. PHP was there on the Facebook job posting, the engineer job which was posted by Facebook. Now, as soon as I put PHP in the search box, it talks about what PHP is. Now, become a PHP developer, learning PHP. So again, you can click on this particular course, which is about learning PHP.
Languages for creating dynamic websites.
And you can actually see like what kind of skills are getting covered when you are taking this particular course. You can view the certificates which you will get. We do have partnerships with some CUs also, like NASBA, PMI, SHRM, etc. What that means is that once you have completed a course which has affiliation from these institutes, you get certain credits from these institutes. Say if you want to be a project manager, there are a lot of courses which are PMI certified project manager. Maybe I'll show you one example of that also. Project manager. You can use like different kind of filters here. Now say I just want to view the content which also has Project Management Institute certification. Now when I click here on Project Management Foundations,
says yes to the.
Right? So you can see like these are different kind of certificates which you will get once you have completed this particular course. Towards end of every chapter, like it has multiple chapters, there is a quiz. It is a multiple choice question kind of a quiz. You need to score like minimum 70% in order to get those certifications in this quiz. Right? Now I'll pick the third, why I'm picking different kind of examples. So you know that there is diverse content available on the platform. The third job role was like job description said, you need to know Excel, you need to know presentation skills, PR skills, etc. So if I type Excel here, it shows me everything around Excel. You can do a basic course, you can watch a learning path on the platform, you can do anything here. So when I click on Excel, pivot tables for beginners.
Once you learn pivot tables in Excel, there's no going back. Stuff that took you a long time to do with formulas will literally only take a few seconds with pivot table.
You can even take notes and save it to your device. So say, for example, I'm somewhere here on this chapter, create
Okay,
new
let's make
field,
this little pivot table
somewhere
area
here.
to get the view of the data that you want.
Now, I feel like this is something maybe I want to practice again and again. So what I'll do is I'll give it some title, maybe X, Y, Z. I'm taking a random example. I press enter. And when I press enter, this much video I can view later. And what I can also do is I can download it in a notes form. So what that means is I can click here and the summary of what was explained in that video is here with me. And I can save it on my device and I can refer to it later. Right? So I'll talk about maybe one soft skill and then we can open it for questions. Now, maybe one thing which is very important today is presentation skills. Presentation skills. So there are courses like public speaking foundations, communication foundations, strategic thinking. You can pick like any course, say communication foundations.
Have you ever calculated the cost of your meetings? Using Harvard's meeting calculator and average salary estimates for IT professionals, a 1-hour meeting with just 4 people will cost your organization around $300. We need to make the most of every second during our meetings.
Now you can see that whatever content we show you here is 100% authentic. We don't have any actors or presenters who come and kind of present this content to you. If you click here, you can actually see the instructors here and you can see that what they are actually doing. So she's a member at Kelley School of Business and Indiana University, and she is the one who's taking this particular course for you. So that's
Let's
the level.
watch Amanda.
That's the kind of presenters we have today on the platform. We have partnered with almost more than I think 20,000 such presenters for producing content for us. Right? Anybody has any questions?
Sakshi, we do have a lot of queries from students. Post session, we'll start with the queries, and then, if the time permits, we'll also take up on-spot queries through chat.
Sure. So what I've done is I've shared a brief overview of the platform, and now maybe as and when they have a LinkedIn learning related query, I'll again share my screen and I'll address that query there and then.
Yep, I think that sounds good. Okay, so you're done with this session?
Yeah. So I kind of showed them the platform, like what we do, how we can look for content, how the skills, they can add the skills on their profile. As when Anup spoke about skills, that our profile is very important, then the right kind of skills need to be added on our profile to attract employers. So I have showed like how they can learn these skills, how they can identify these skills. So now if they have any questions, we would like to take those questions and deep dive further.
So then I must compliment that you just made this session so comprehensive yet complete. So it was bang on the time slot. You covered so many aspects. It was very new. I am very sure it must be, because we took an input during the registration that how many people know about LinkedIn Learning already, and majority of them didn't know about it, or they have just heard about it. So it was really lot of new things to know. I really must appreciate the concept of bite-sized learning and connecting it with the learning path. So I think that just makes it keeps us motivated that why should we complete, because otherwise people lose focus. And definitely, as we have been speaking about the authenticity, it definitely highlights the authenticity of the instructor, because we can go and cross-check their profile, and it also adds to our profile when we complete something. So definitely a useful thing. In fact, I would say even faculties, our training team, people like us can also benefit, not just the student, but we can also largely benefit from it. So thank you so much. And it was a very nice session. We can now move forward to our Q&A session. I think a lot of students are waiting for it. Nilesh sir, can we have spotlight on all our panelists, or is it going to work one-on-one?
Is it on one-on-one?
It's one-on-one. Okay, so whosoever speaks can come into the spotlight, right? Okay, so so I would start with the queries that we have already received during the registration. I've compiled the queries into the common queries together, and I would also be mentioning the names of the students and the colleges that they have. So surprisingly, we got participation from a lot of colleges which were not even into our state. So just to show the gratitude for them to participate, I would definitely like to include few questions from their end as well. So I would start with the first query. Anupji, Sakshiji, you can choose whosoever wish to respond to it. So these queries are around LinkedIn profiles and around LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning. So the query one is, how can we identify whether the post shared on LinkedIn is it is real and it is not fake regarding the vacancies? Adding to it, is it also safe to share our resume on mail ID shared during these posts? And also, what about the privacy concern? So this question was asked by Ms. Jyoti Raghuvanshi from IIMR MBA. A similar query was asked by Mr. Anurag Mishra from IIST Engineering and Mr. Mayank Yadav from LNCT Indore. So this is the query one.
Sure. So I'll take that. Okay. So we'll have to break it down into portion. I think there are 3 questions in this, and I think the first one was are we talking about the authenticity of the data, right? Yeah. Correct. So see, now there are 2 things to check. First of all is on LinkedIn, if you're talking about the content part of it, what I do personally, there is no ground rule written. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you at a very superficial level, LinkedIn is already doing its part in trying its using technology to eliminate a lot of fake content. So we have a lot of our investments have gone into building up certain algorithms and using machine learning and artificial intelligence to identify what is the source of the data. Okay, that is at a very technology level. Still, I mean, I believe there can be some bypasses which will happen. But as a layman, what my recommendation to you from a data authentication would be, always try to look for the source. If you're getting an image, okay, which talks about something without the mention of the source where they got this data from, never ever believe it. And I'm not just telling you about LinkedIn as such. I'm telling you about in general social media, which includes WhatsApp also. Because this is one of the biggest problem which India is going through right now. A lot of rumor mongering, a lot of fake content being published for fake data. So always, if the image or if that content does not have any source detail, do not believe in that data unless it has been verified. Okay, that is one part of it. Second is from a job perspective. See, typically on LinkedIn, you need to be aware that there are 2 kinds of jobs. Okay, so one is the job which is posted directly by the audiences of LinkedIn, customers of LinkedIn, and there is another set of jobs which come on LinkedIn, which is posted by our partner companies. So obviously what happens is every job which comes in, so personally, I don't feel that there is a threat to you to apply for any job, because if you can apply for an authentic job versus an unauthentic or inauthentic job, I mean, there is nothing bad which is going to happen. Eventually, if you're lucky enough, you may end up getting a call from there. But a lot of people do have this malpractice of just posting job and collecting in data for their own ulterior motive. Honestly, you can identify it by just reading the job descriptions and stuff. It doesn't match to what you because you as a person, when you're applying for a job, you already have certain things in your mind that this job profile should look like this. I don't see this, I don't see those content, I just see that this is an opening for a management intern. What about others? Which company, which location, what are the other job specs? At a layman, you can identify that, but that is 90-10. 90% of the time, I don't feel there is a threat in applying for a job, because eventually today, if your threat is my mobile number will be public, I'll tell you, because the advent of social media, because the advent of Truecaller and WhatsApp, your mobile number is any which ways no longer private or secure. The whole world has your mobile number. You just put in a 5-minute effort today, you can get anyone's number. So that is the answer to question 2 about job authenticity. Okay, Rohit, you'll have to just brush me through the question once again to understand which are the other elements of that.
Yeah, I think what you covered was regarding the fake vacancies and sharing the mail resume over mail ID.
Right.
I think you were touching to the point regarding privacy concern.
Privacy concern. Correct. Yeah. And I think so also what happens is if you look at LinkedIn as a company, so we are GDPR compliant. So GDPR is basically a norm which we have taken up. This is more of a UK based norm, which we are also following. And this is something which is being followed by a lot of other companies and a lot of other regions, because social media was never part of any kind of data protection rules. So now they are bringing in rules under them. So LinkedIn is one of the front runners in dedicatedly honoring to those protection rules. Okay, so that is called as GDPR. So what does that mean to a layman? Basically, it means whatever content you put up there, unless you want to be made, you want that content to be made public, it will never be made public. It will be just because obviously it is LinkedIn. The reason you're coming on LinkedIn so that your profile can be viewed by hundreds of people. But for example, your chat, your mobile number, if you have put it up there, your email ID, you have put it up there, and you really don't want others to see it, it will remain secured, unless you have openly shared it with someone, so including the employees of LinkedIn, which is Sakshi and me, the entire organization, we are GDPR compliant. We do not use anyone's data to use it for any third-party purposes. So you can be rest assured. There can be certain malpractices which will happen, and we keep taking, we keep checks and balances for that. And if it happens also, there are immediate resolutions for that, so be rest assured in terms of data privacy.
Okay. Sounds good. I think it covers all 3 concerns. Should we move on to the next query?
Please.
So this query is by Mr. Anshul Pandey from IIST Engineering Batch. When you apply for a job using LinkedIn, how do LinkedIn find the most suited candidate for the profile from thousands of candidates on its network?
Okay, so I'm assuming, Anshul, you referred to if you're applying to LinkedIn as a company, right? If I'm not wrong. So there are 2 things to it. One is if you apply to LinkedIn as a company, or you apply to any other organization. So normally what happens is, see, there are different ways and means how different organizations operate. Okay, so sometimes what happens is whenever you apply, all the application directly goes into an application tracking system of a company. Okay, many a times what happens is it remains inside the LinkedIn section. Okay, but normally what every organization do is they try to filter profiles basis the skills you've mentioned in the in the job description versus skills which are there on your LinkedIn profile. Okay, now even if you have a premium membership of LinkedIn, okay, if you apply for a job, Okay, if you don't even apply, if you just come across a job, the job will only tell you that if you apply for this job, you will be amongst the top 10% people who are suitable for this job. So what LinkedIn does is LinkedIn identifies that these are the 10 skills, these are the experiences, the location which this job description has. Anup as a person has 7 skills, location matches, he's in Mumbai. It also matches from an industry and experience level. Okay. So that LinkedIn only tells Anup as a candidate that, hey, if you apply for this, you will be amongst the top 10% of applicants because it perfectly matches. This is, I'm telling you from a LinkedIn perspective. Now, organization perspective, there are different ways and means. There are certain people, who will, the moment they get the application, a suitable application, they will just ignore the rest of the application, which is something which even I don't like the way that it happens, but it happens, can't do much, and what you can do to stay protected is whenever you also apply, you can also probably chat with the recruiters. That's where the LinkedIn comes into play for you. Whenever you see a job is there, you've applied for a job, finally reach out to the recruiter, because the recruiter's name is usually mentioned, not always, okay, usually mentioned. Chat with that person and understand, I've already applied. What is it that I can do? I didn't get a response. I already got a response and response was rejected. But you know why I was rejected? And you can have a conversation, because that triggers more interest about you to the recruiter, because somebody is really following up with me to get a job in my company. So I should give him more values. So that's my answer to your question today. So there's no direct answer to that, Anshul. There are different things different organizations do, but LinkedIn does this. We understand what are the top. Are you a match? If you're not a match, typically they'll send you to a repository. Then you get an automated message that okay, you're not fit right now, but you will be. We will consider you for other roles whenever there is.
Okay. So that definitely answers to, I hope Anshul must have got the answer. And I think it's very right that there are so many parameters around, even for physical hiring. When we do hiring face to face, there are so many parameters. And I think LinkedIn is already highlighting that are you a fit or not a fit for
Correct. Absolutely.
The query 3 is the most popular one. These are a lot of questions. I would go through the exhaustive query and try to summarize it because it's by a lot of people. So the query is how to build our profile, how to write introduction, how to have an attractive CV, how to boost my profile so that HR can see it, how to get calls from HR, how do I highlight my achievements if I'm working for a good company with a corporate. So this query was by Mr. Aman Chaudhary from IIST Engineering, Gokul R from SMVEC Pondicherry, Sheetal Patil from IIST Engineering, Priyanka Singh from IIP, Bhuvan Agrawal from IIP, Anshika Gupta from IIST, Aman, then Rahul Lohar from IIST, just to name a few. I would say it's rather the crux of your session.
Yeah.
So if I just reframe it, what is the top 3 immediate things that students should just right away do after this session to improve this?
So I would say that first of all, have basic hygiene factors in play. Like I mentioned, the 7 or 8 pointers. Just check. Where is it that you lack? Do I have a photograph? Have I tagged the right college? And then my second thing would be profile building is just a very simple thing. You should not, you should not stress over it, because whatever whatever you've done, you should put it up there. Second thing I would recommend to you as students is start following the right companies and the right people, and start from your own college. Am I following my own college? So that's something you should ask yourself. Have I sent connection requests to people like Rohit, people like Arun sir, all these people, so all the leadership, my mentors, do I have that? That is one thing which I will tell. And follow large companies, like I mentioned, when you're sitting at an interview table, when you're undergoing an interview with a TCS or anyone, that's when you'll realize the importance of this. I should have followed TCS as a company since I joined, or at least a year back. Start following these top trending companies, which are very common for the placement hiring which happens in your college. That every year, okay, TCS comes, this comes. start knowing more about them, because everywhere there is competition. If there are 10 people, if they're all going to say that, okay, sir, I got 80%, 80%, 80%, 80%, what is it that you're bringing onto the table? You're bringing on your passion, your research, your insights about that company, that this is the reason I want a job there. You're getting it? So this is the second thing. And third thing is directly start interacting with people in the market. If you are a mechanical engineer, you're a software engineer, an MBA, look for those people who can actually connect with you and talk to you and guide you. And the first set of people who can very comfortably do this are your own alumni. Check your alumni, where they are, what they are doing, reach out to them, seek support from your college administration to get an alumni connect with them and say that, sir, what was your journey from this to there? If you think that I have to get to your job, or I have to get to the company which you're working, what do you think I should do right now? Can you introduce me to your HR in the company? So that's when you will complete the entire cycle of you build a good profile, follow the right people, because you need to get the right information, then have the one-on-one connect. These are the top 3 things, Rohit, I'll tell the students to start.
That's so nice. And I think you also covered the next query that we had, which was more about once the profile is attractive, how to keep it engaging. And so you said we should go and reach out to the alumni, and they can in turn also help connecting with the right HR.
Correct.
And highlight our profile.
Correct. Even for keeping your profile engaged, I also, one more thing I said was, have a very disciplined approach. Like make it a point that I will put up some content on LinkedIn every 2 or 3 weeks. I will not say every 2 days, 3 days, because it's not required you as a student. As a professional, I'll say every week you need to have 1 or 2 content going on. As a student, so that what happens is you will have the give and take mechanism. I'm giving content, I'm also absorbing a lot of content. And you, in that process, you become a thought leader. Thought leader means whoever looks at your profile, he'll say, oh, Anup as a student, he's been putting so much content about finance. He knows so much about it. He's recently put up some newspaper article which talks about it. He's put up some thought process about. So you become a person branded that he's a thought leader from a finance. So a lot of people are very interested to talk to you, about that. So that a disciplined approach is something which you should have once you have a good profile made.
Okay. Really a helpful thing. Now I would bring in, I think Sakshi will speak about LinkedIn Learning. So this query is specifically a mix of 3 queries. What is the benefit of LinkedIn Learning? How is it different from existing solutions that we have? How is it going to impact our job opportunities specifically on LinkedIn? And is there a way to access the courses for free on LinkedIn Learning? So this query was asked by Mr. Naushad Khan from IIST Engineering and Mr. Shalendra Kumar Mishra, again from IIST.
Sure. So Rohit, the first one was
benefit of LinkedIn Learning.
Benefit of LinkedIn Learning.
Yeah.
Sure. So benefit, as I mentioned during my demo, was that you will be able to upskill. You will be able to understand, first of all, you know yourself that what kind of skill gap is there. But then you learn the skill on platform, and the skills which we teach you on LinkedIn Learning platform are more like which you can readily apply on the job. So suppose if tomorrow you are appearing for an interview with an organization which is looking for a Java and a cloud computing and a digital transformation expert, today organizations are also not looking for someone who's coming with just one skill. They're looking for somebody which comes with multiple skills. Now, education institutes are doing a great job. They are teaching us the relevant skills, the curriculum. What we do is, on top of it, we give you some additional skills which you can apply in your day-to-day job, which you can prepare and apply in your interview. So when someone is interviewing you, the more practical knowledge you have, the more skill you have on your profile after acquiring that practical knowledge, the higher the chances that they will be hiring you for that particular role. Now, one is, of course, they will look on your resume that, hey, he or she is from this particular institute. Now, somebody is hiring you on resume. Now they are interviewing you. In interview, what you talk about, what content you share, also represents that what kind of subject matter expertise you have. Like from students, nobody expects that you should know everything, because there is something which is on the job training also. So I'm not telling you that you need to be knowing everything.
Yeah.
But there are certain skills which we don't know as students. Those are the skills you can learn on LinkedIn Learning. Now, how we are different is we give you bite-sized learning one. You learn it from the world's topmost professional who are already SMEs in that particular domain or who are already working in corporate sector in that domain. So who will be hiring you? Corporates will be hiring you. Who are teaching on the platform? Corporates, premier institute professors, some of the world's top authors, some board directors like Ram Charan is there, who's on board of many organizations. He has a course on LinkedIn Learning, coaching high potentials. So I hope, Rohit, I'm able to address the question.
Definitely.
Right, and there is a third one also.
The third one is, I think there is another one that does it impact does specifically having LinkedIn Learning impacts your chances of job opportunities on LinkedIn? So does the correlation work?
Sure. Yeah. So how the correlation works is that whatever you learn, now when you learn it on LinkedIn Learning, you add those certifications on your profile. It's again optional. You want to add, you don't want to add. It's up to you. But once you add those skills on your profile, and you might have seen when you click on LinkedIn, sometimes you see those job recommendations. You are among the top 10% of applicants, or you are among the top 50% of applicants. When you see those job applications and you are able to see that there are certain skills. If you are green on all the skills, it shows you among the top or 10 or 5% applicants. If you are not green on all the skills, or maybe 34% of skills, it may show that you are among the 50 or 70% of job applicants for a particular role. So of course, learning something on the platforms makes your profile more attractive, and not only learning on LinkedIn, but you can also learn from other platforms and add those skills to your profile.
Okay.
And I think there was one question around how you can access some free content.
Free content, yeah.
Yeah. So there are some courses which we keep launching time to time, like maybe 10 courses in a quarter, which are like free courses. But those are like some very basic skills, like how to make a presentation or something around that. If you want to get into specifics of it, it is not obviously free, but yeah, obviously with the Education Institute, we have different partnership models, which maybe we can discuss later with Rohit, or Rohit can discuss with you. But if you want to access it for free, maybe for a month, you can upgrade to premium by adding your payment details. Now, what that means is you get LinkedIn Premium free for 1 full month by doing that. That also gives you access to LinkedIn Learning. But don't forget to remove your payment details after the month, because otherwise you will be charged in the subsequent months. So that is another way you can at least explore the content. And sometimes when we launch,
at least we can have a trial feel of it. The student can go through it and see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. And covers the queries. We do have a last query, but that's more into I would say a rather generic one. So Nilesh, is it possible that student can ask few queries on chat? Can they post in the current configuration?
Yes, sir. Chat already on it.
Okay. So I would request the students, you have been messaging me over the WhatsApp, so you can ask your query in the chat box, and the panelists can choose any 2 or 3 queries they wish to reply. Okay, so I think it is still disabled. Nilesh sir, can you just check once, because I got a message from a student that it is.
मैं check करता हूँ.
Utilizing the time, I would ask this query as well. So this is one of the last query that we received in the registration form. So it's about how to make a balanced use of LinkedIn. That is neither very less so that we miss on the opportunities and not very much that we end up scrolling the negative effect of social media, that we end up scrolling the success of others, and that just leads to our own failure. So this was again a query by Mr. Anurag Mishra from IIST Engineering. So if
Yep. I'll take that. So again, Rohit, that everything boils down to what I mentioned, the do's and don'ts kind of a thing. Because see, firstly, I'll say that LinkedIn is like an ocean. There are lakhs and lakhs of organizations. Lakhs and lakhs of organizations are posting content. There are millions of human beings who are there. Everyone are kind of posting content. So it will be too overwhelming as the person who has asked a question is, I can just imagine that person's, the reason whoever asked this, and that's exactly the reason you're supposed to curate what you see and when you see. Okay. So first of all, if you have a LinkedIn app on your mobile phone, perfect. If you don't, desktop, doesn't matter. But the thing is, you need to start following the right companies, start having the right connections, so that, because in LinkedIn it's very simple. If you're connected to a person, that person and that person's network becomes your life or your universe. So getting connected to the right person, because as I said initially, a lot of people who come to me and say, there is so much of clutter these days on LinkedIn. Why is it happening? I see unnecessary images coming up. I say it is a matter of whom you're connected to. If you are connected to a chef, okay, he or she will certainly put up some videos of what she does, which may be irrelevant to you. So you need to think that what was the idea of me connecting to this person? Personally, she'll be a good friend or he'll be a good friend, but professionally, I don't think there is a connection. But that's where the balance gets disbalanced. Suddenly you're seeing a architect. Now he's putting up all his images of buildings, and you're like, this is so irrelevant to me. It is not irrelevant. It is irrelevant to you, but it is relevant to him. But the thing is, when you got connected to him, you should have thought that what is the correlation of me with that guy, on a LinkedIn front. Secondly, on LinkedIn itself, there are a lot of filters. See, this is all technology. Technology has given you the power to filter out what you want, what you don't want. So in LinkedIn, you can actually go and filter what are the things you want to see, what are the things you don't want to see. Who are the people whom you want to, which content you want to see, whom are the people whom you want to see the content from, who are the people you don't want to see the content from. So it's completely controlled by the technology right now. Okay, I think there is a question.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying it's more of a conscious step that the user
Yes.
has to take.
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
have the power to choose what they want to see, what they don't want to see.
Totally.
Strictly professional rather than
strictly professional.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Because otherwise, there is no end to it, right? Then you will end up seeing everything. You don't know what to use and what not to use from what I'm reading. So that's why.
So I think there is a question.
Yeah.
There are two questions. One is targeted towards you, Anup sir. So yeah, my question is so this is by Adarsh Vyas.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, as you said, we should update our profile with what our future plans are. My question is, how do we do that? And suppose if I am working with an IT company and my boss, okay.
I get it. I'm working with an IT company, and my future plan is to open an IT company. How should I put this up on LinkedIn when my current company's employees and CEOs are connected to me?
That's a very common doubt that people have, because a lot of people are I come across such profiles where they are active as an HR manager, but they are also mentioning that I want to switch for an active HR role. So that comes, I think he's mentioning the same thing. If he's working for an IT company, how can he mention publicly that he wants to start something on his own?
See, so the thing is, a lot of people do mention this. If you come and look at a lot of these large MNCs, I don't know, Adarsh, where you're working, but this is not an issue anymore. This used to be an issue long time back, because I've seen so many people who've written in their LinkedIn that my end objective is to become an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurship is something which people promote. There's one thing which people don't write on their profile is, okay, today I'm working with Infosys. My aim is to work with Wipro. That you will not write, correct? But being an entrepreneurship is not a big problem. You can, and I think my gut feel or my opinion to you or my suggestion to you is you should in fact tell this to your organization that my end objective is to become an entrepreneur because my skills lie there. Right now I'm kind of in a phase wherein I feel I'm not ready for it. So whenever I'm ready for it, I will. And till the time I am ready for it, I'm going to give my 100% to this organization. And that's where you will be, bringing out your skills, because your leadership skills, your risk-taking abilities. These are the things. And I'll tell you what, in LinkedIn, okay, and in large MNCs, if you say that you want to become an entrepreneur, they give you more preference.
Okay.
They give you more preference. Why? Because they want those people with those abilities, like who are ready to take the risk, who are ready to play that, become the key player of the team. Because if you're not an entrepreneur, you will not do these, right? You will be just one person within the organization. So my opinion to you is it's not a big deal. You can clearly tell them, and nobody is going to play, a card against you or something like that. That is my ambition. That is my ambition. So you can't say that my ambition after 5 years is to, because they all know that you're not married to one company. Correct? This is not a marriage that it will go for years together. You will leave after 2-3 years. Few people think that it's very sacred. I should not say what will they feel. Gone are those days. I think people are very vocal about it.
Right.
I don't know, did that cover all that? Whatever he asked me for.
Yeah, I think Adarsh also pinged back. He's quite satisfied with the answer. It was very clear. So that's an instant feedback. Thank you, Adarsh.
Sure. Thank you.
Conversation very interactive. So, Sakshi, you have responded to one of the queries. So if you can say it, it will help others as well.
Absolutely. See, because even like Sakshi mentioned, even from a profile photo wise, there is nothing written in this that you have to be. You can use your creativity, but depends which segment you are in. For example, a lot of people use these caricature. My opinion to them is, if you're in a management professional, don't use it. But if you're in a profession of a creativity, you're into advertisement, you're into creative jobs, go for it. People will look at you as a person who's kind of, really creative in nature and stuff.
I think it was regarding the cover photo.
Okay. Sorry. I was referring to the profile picture. Sorry. Okay, I was giving it, but I really wanted to make this point. So, I'm glad I did that. So
that's so nice. So I think, Sakshi, if you can just brief us about the cover photo. So I think.
Sure. So I'll just quickly share my profile.
Yeah.
Sure. Just a second. So as you can see on my screen, this is my profile photo. And this is what is in the background is In It Together. That is actually LinkedIn punchline. That is my cover photo. So as I mentioned on the chat, cover photo can be related to your professional. You are a developer, you can make a photo related to that. If you are not into any kind of profession, maybe you are speaking at some place, or maybe in one of the event at your college you are speaking, you can use that photo as a cover photo. So those pointers which I have shared there are related to your cover photo. This one, the one in the background, right?
Okay.
I think everybody can see that.
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible. Yes.
I think we don't have any other questions. So, and we are on time.
Yeah, that is one of the most sticking to the scheduled event I have ever attended, ever have been a part of. So, and thank you so much to the panelists for that, because I think even starting with DG sir, the agenda was quite broad, but he tried to put it into very concise 25 minutes. Anup sir, it was more like personal consulting for me. You telling me, and I was able to self-rate my profile based on the inputs. But you still kept it to the timeline, and I've already complimented Sakshi ji for keeping it so comprehensive, because there was such a it's too deeper than what I even presume. LinkedIn Learning has a lot of things, and really like the idea around it. And we'll definitely connect back on how to venture out into this particular domain, along with our institution as well as the other partnering institution who have participated, registered for the event, or have been viewing through the live stream. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, DG sir. Thank you, Anup ji. Thank you, Sakshi ji, for being such a great guest and giving so much of information in such a precise timing. And I hope everyone enjoyed this session. It was very power packed, and looking forward to more such activities if your schedule permits. And thank you so much. Thanks once again. Thank you to all the attendees, all the students. Thank you to the administration team for managing the infrastructure for the event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you for setting this up and giving us this opportunity. Because we are always looking for opportunities where we can talk to students. So this was one of it. So I hope everyone has a great weekend and everyone should take care. Thank you so much, and it's bye from me. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Rohit. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.